We're at UW River Falls, touring some of the best facilities in D3 football's toughest conference. Let's get started. I'm Kobe Manzo, here with the head coach of the Falcons, Matt Walker. Coach, pumped to be here, and the director of athletics, Crystal Lanning. Crystal, thanks for having us.
Welcome to UW River Falls. Let's get this started.
Inside the Falcon Center, this thing opened up in 2017, Coach.
Yep.
Incredible. To have all of your athletics facilities and everyone under one roof, tell me about why that's important.
Amazing, right? We're so blessed here. I say it all the time, you can search and find an individual facility that's pretty nice somewhere else, but to have everything in 2017 be brand new, all under one roof, all matching, all together, our athletes come to the same place to practice, work out, compete. Hard to find something like this anywhere in the country, not just non-scholarship, but anywhere in the country. To find something like this, pretty special. We're blessed.
And first impressions are important. When you walk through these doors, your athletics department, the different offices are your first landing point. When you come in this room, you get to see everyone and see the people that make this place special.
Yeah, $63.5 million upgrade can help things, right?
Yes.
Yeah, we're just, it's amazing to have this for us.
You've been here for more than a decade, but recently, you guys have seen a massive uptick in what you've been able to do on the field. Tell me about it.
Yeah, you know, I say the rebuild took longer than anybody wanted. Nobody was more frustrated than I was. And you know, we went into the year before COVID, thought we had a pretty good team in 19 and still, you know, fought our butts off to win a few games. And then we came out of the COVID break and just, it's been amazing since then. You know, we finally reaped the benefits of all the hard work. You know, made some history here with these bowl games.
That's what I want to talk about right
amazing.
There,
so, first bowl games in the history of the state of Wisconsin. We won the first two bowl games. That year we go into the top 25. Haven't left the top 25 since. It's really kickstarted this whole amazing run we've been on. It's like I say to recruits, you could argue where we were before COVID to where we are now, maybe the hottest team in college football. From where we were to where we are, these are special to us to make that history and kind of have this point to where we knew it all kind of started with these games and these seasons in 21, 22 and kind of led to this success. And now we're ready to take the next step, as hard as it's going to be with how good this league is. At the same time, though, a lot of respect to those teams that we had.
Yeah.
Prior to COVID, if you hear me talk before, I have a lot of respect, and I think about those teams in 20 and 19 and 18 and 17. And
players, man.
Unbelievable. I say they were pushing the needle before they knew they were pushing the needle. And it's like, we wouldn't have gotten here today without the hard work of those teams through those tough years.
Absolutely. And no, you talk about these two trophies, which are incredible, but around that, there's a lot more hardware in just this trophy case, and there's others scattered around this building. What is it like to be in a facility that fosters this level of competition and winning there?
I love talking about our department as a whole. It's not just football. There's amazing history and tradition here. Men's hockey's won 3 national titles. Okay. Our women's hockey's been ranked #1, I think, more than they haven't since I've been here. Back-to-back national titles. We've hosted both titles in this facility right here behind us, and the basketball's won conference titles. We started baseball back again, exceeded expectations in year 1. Men's soccer won playoff games in conference tournament in year 1 of bringing men's soccer back. So just an incredible thing going. You met Crystal Lanning already. We have incredible staff here. We have amazing facilities. This is a really special thing. And so it's not just football, but there's something really special going on here in our athletic department.
Everyone under the same roof. Big benefit of that is the facilities here get to be next level, and it's not just the playing surfaces, it's some of the stuff that is additional, or the amenities like the concessions and other deals.
Yeah, like we're in the middle of the main hallway right now. We're in a spot where all 3 competing venues dump into one spot. We got concessions for all 3 competing venues. You got a apparel store back here right next to it too. And you think about some wintertime nights where you have basketball being played, hockey being played, indoor track going. It's pretty amazing around here some of those winter nights. Some of my favorite nights are coming out of the office after some recruiting calls and dumping myself right out into here and watching 3 different competing venues go on at the same time.
Heading to the locker room, Coach.
Yep.
And this is one that you guys have been in this space, but when this building opened up, the amount of space you had doubled. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so interesting design. You can kind of see here 2 entrances.
Yep.
This sort of separation. Before the project, we shared this with hockey. So the Kansas City Chiefs did their preseason training here for 19 years. Man. The Chiefs put in this sort of NFL locker room. But it used to be two spaces. They're exact mirrors of each other, and it was separated. So men's and women's hockey could use them in the wintertime. We could use them fall, spring, and just use both sides. Yeah. When the building got done in 2017, we just knocked it out in between, and now it's one big space. Incredible, right?
This is nuts.
It's a locker room, it's a clubhouse, it's a central piece of our culture.
You come in, you see the different jersey combos, and this is just a very great, crisp first impression of what you're wearing when you're representing the Falcons.
So there's security guards in the locker room.
I like that.
We've scared a lot of workers in the Falcon Center that come in, and this is the first thing they see. If it's their first time cleaning the space at night, they got quite a scare coming.
The red and white, of course, but you got a little bit outside of that comfort zone, a little bit of the alternate with the black. You talked about getting some new black uniforms coming this fall.
Some of our players don't even know this yet. New black Nikes coming in.
Breaking it here first. I like that.
So you can see the mannequins are wearing number 33. We have one retired jersey in the history of our program for Jim Bear. He's the legendary player that probably thought of as the best player to ever go through the program. One of the things this space gives us, on top of being, again, a clubhouse and a locker room and kind of this central culture piece, is this is our team meeting room. I stand right there every day, and we start our team meeting, and it could be 30 seconds to 15 minutes. The other side of this is an exact room just like this. So we go from team meeting to offense, defense, then we can bust out into position meeting rooms. And again, everybody has their own space. So as a college football player yourself, you know the efficiency of that day. It's an amazing everyday life for a college football player here.
I heard you're the man to beat on the ping pong paddles.
Most of our players don't want to mess with me, I'll tell you that. I'm competitive. You want to play a little bit?
Let's go see it. Let's go see it. My gosh. Okay, yeah. Oh my. Is that a knuckleball? What is that? Standing in front of one of the 6 80-inch TVs in this space. Ridiculous. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about some of the gear that the fellas get here at River Falls, outfitting the guys on and off the field.
We try to be collegiate with our stuff. So again, like when you report day one with us, you get the travel suit with a pullover and a pair of pants. We like to look sharp with matching backpacks on the road. Polo if we need to clean up. Then 2 t-shirts, 2 shorts for workout gear. Again, the weather around here, getting a matching hat is pretty key around here. And then we like to be a sea of red on game day. So it's kind of our game day top, but if it's too hot, we got a little red t-shirt we can wear instead.
Absolutely. Let's go over to the mudroom, check out what that has to offer.
Do it. We called the mudroom originally designed so that you could knock your mud off and we could spray this up. Now we're on turf, so there's no mud ever, but what we decided to do with this space, because it's unique. Our guys are in and out of here every day. This is how they get in the locker room. That's how they go on the field every time for practice and games. Practice jerseys right here to grab on their way. But we decided to take anything that used to hang in any other football space. Again, we got a little history everywhere, but this is kind of this walk every time you're going to the field for our players that, hey, let's pay tribute to the great history of this program. Remember how lucky you are. Think about what these guys would do. Die to have one more day of practice, whatever. So it's kind of that reminder. This is kind of the crown jewel of the whole thing, this sign. It used to hang in the old football space. We kind of took it and we said, boy, we could do something special with this. Let's put it right here. Any alum that's ever visited, we push them to sign the sign. And now the big tradition is on senior week, that last practice. These seniors, again, if you're on the outside, it could be this cheesy, corny thing, but if you're in it, it's a powerful
for the guys
day.
That matter, absolutely,
These seniors are in tears, emotional, signing this thing, because they've hit it 1,000 times. And now we say, hey, the other 100 guys, the last time you go out to your last game, you're gonna be touching the sign with the seniors on there that you've played with. And when you hit that thing, it's serious to us for 5 seconds. Think about how lucky you are. Think about all the guys that went 0-10 or 2-8 or 3-7 in our rebuild that really worked hard and deserved a win and didn't get to. And now you're getting to reap some of those benefits. Think about those guys you're hitting this thing.
It's a powerful way of connecting the old with the new and pairing some of those teams that laid the foundation for the program is now.
For sure. Our guys take this serious. It's pretty cool.
All right, Coach, let's close things out here. You go the full circle of the locker room, and right at the entrance or the exit, whichever way you come in and out, you're greeted with, once again, all this history, all the accolades, all the accomplishments of this team and the ones that came before it, right?
Yep. Again, talk about our history a lot. This is kind of paying tribute to 18 conference titles. All of them are up here with their trophies. You got, the bowl game stuff in here. You got the helmet piece, which we've already talked about. It's a rich history here. There's great tradition here, and we need to celebrate it. So I like that it's kind of the central piece when you come in the locker room, and everybody gets to see it and walk by it every day.
We'll get over to Raymer Field in a little bit, but first, staying in the Falcon Center, inside of Page Arena here, basketball, volleyball, a lot of different venues inside of here. Joining me, Steve Soccer. What's going on?
Having a good day, man.
Good to have you
Thanks
here,
for being
and
here.
someone who has been very intertwined with every piece of the puzzle along the way, putting this facility together. Also, I get to sing his praises, All-American track athlete, still the reigning 400-meter record holder, I believe.
That's true.
So that's a pretty incredible feat, but talk to me about, you've been here through every step of the process for this facility and all of them for their inception. What has gone into this? How does this benefit the student athlete experience at River Falls?
Sure, that's a loaded question.
Absolutely it is.
It's been a long time coming. There's been a lot of student athletes that were promised this facility and never got it. And so now the student athletes that are here, you know, they're kind of the beneficiaries. What has Page Arena done for us? I mean, it's put us on the map. Page Arena and Falcon Center have brought us into the conversation. That's the biggest thing. I think the quality of athletes that we can recruit because of these facilities has elevated that profile.
All right, now we make our way into the community room up here, and community room is one way of saying it. Man, this is like a luxury suite and a great viewing experience for whether it is those basketball, volleyball, match day, game day type of experience. What can you tell me about this space and how it helps separate you guys?
Well, I'll tell you the first time I ever saw a space like this when we visited Mankato.
Okay.
And that's where I saw it in the Taylor Center. And when we saw that space, we said, we need that space.
Okay.
It's been great for our corporate sponsors to be able to come in here on game night.
Probably a pretty cool part of the tour too, when you bring in prospective student athletes, get to show them this side of the facility, I imagine.
Absolutely. You know, when a student athlete comes in, it's a little too big to be kind of that, you know, that final stop, but it's definitely on the stop. I think all of our football recruits will come through this space for sure. Hunter Arena, a lot of history in this building. I wish these walls could talk. There's been some amazing stories from back in the days of the early 80s when this place was just jammed. When the football team is present at our games, you know, does that make a difference? Well, just looking in this venue, I think about our football team. They sit right over here. This is kind of where they've adopted this section. And actually 2 years ago in the 31-0 season national championship, it got so ruckus in that section, and they were forearm shivering the glass so much, and it was waving all the way around because these are spring-loaded flexible glass. But it actually moved the boards in by an inch and a half. At the end of the year, we had to take all the plastic off the boards in the front and the back and get it all, loosen everything up, bring it all back so it was straight for the next year. When it comes to football in this space, you know, ideally you'd like to have turf, right? Indoor turf, that is definitely something on our priority list. That's something we're talking about right now. If it's raining outside, the guys will go outside.
I would say, yeah, absolutely.
You know, if it's thunder and lightning, that's a different story. So they can come in here and get some work done. I don't think they would ever go full speed in here, but they can certainly get some walk through and done in here. And that's the same thing. You know, I told you earlier, the Kansas City Chiefs were here. Same thing. They would come in, they would do walk through in here.
Here inside the athletic training room now in the Falcon Center, and joining me here, Christina Mitchell, and I want to talk about your background a little bit. Intern at ESPN. You've got some other experience with other college programs.
Yeah.
You got a degree, of course, in athletic training, but also in nutrition, which definitely sets you apart. So first of all, very nice to meet you. Thank you for bringing us in here.
Of course.
And you know, given all of that, tell me about what makes this space special and how you guys really can provide for these student athletes.
Well, sure. So quick background, from Colorado originally, played college soccer at St. Ben's. Got a number of concussions there.
Okay.
Turned me into athletic training because I spent a lot of time with them.
Very interesting.
So I got my nutrition undergrad degree because we didn't have that program. So then I went to St. Scholastica, got my master's in athletic training. That's where I had my cool ESPN.
There you go.
It is a sweet internship. So this is the end of my 6th year. We have an awesome partnership through TCO. So I'm actually hired by Twin Cities Orthopedics, as is my staff. There's 4 of us total. So we spend all of our time here. We're fully staffed, we're fully funded. Training room facility is awesome. Nobody is ever in here alone. There's never a team in here alone or an athletic trainer in here alone. So you get a lot of interacting with our other teams, and it builds a lot of camaraderie. So this is kind of our rehab space.
Yeah.
We'll have kids in here. They'll get their hot packs. They'll be doing their rehab. They'll be stretching on their own. They'll be warming up. Then you have our treatment tables over there, so that's where they can kind of heat pack, or we'll do evals or more hands-on stuff. And then you got taping on that other side. We have this little recovery corner with the Game Ready and the Normatex.
We've got this whole additional setup in the back, couple of these whirlpools. It seems pretty obvious looking at this, coming from a student-athlete background, but tell me about why these are important.
It's a good piece for warm-up and recovery. Kids love them. They get their quiet time. They get a moment to sit in the tubs. Absolutely. They have a great time. We got the river right down. So we have these two in here.
Okay.
We have two more outside if they need them during games. We actually have the Kinnickinnic, the river right down the hill.
Okay.
During preseason, our kids love doing it.
Yeah.
To use the tubs, you have to shower, you have to put on clean clothes.
You don't have to do that to get in the river.
You sure don't. No. And football practice ends the same times as women's soccer practice. So they'll all walk down the hill. It's a 2-minute walk, sit in the river, hang out. They can all get in there. That river stays down in like the low 50s, 40s, even at the end of summer. But this space is great. Again, lights are typically off in here. Kids have their headphones.
Yes.
They're coming in, they're taking their baths, they're doing their recovery.
Heading into the weight room now, this might be the crown jewel of the facility here at UW River Falls. And joining me to talk about this space, offensive coordinator for the Falcons, Joe Madsen. Joe,
how we doing?
I'm excited to have you here. Talk about this Top Gun offense. That's one of the coolest nicknames in college football, and it's a well-earned one, right? You guys have been one of the, if not the fastest, most up-tempo offenses in all of NCAA football. Tell me about it. Where's that name come from?
This really all started when back in 2020, when I took over as the offensive coordinator here, it wasn't very fun to be a college football player or to coach because there were no games. You were grinding through practices. So we wanted to have some fun here. We said, hey, let's have a brand. Let's have it play towards our style of play. And we came up with the Top Gun offense, and our guys have fun with it. You get it, right? We're going to play fast. We're going to be aggressive, and it just caught on from there.
Absolutely. You've set numerous team records since then. You've been the top scoring offense in the WIAC for multiple years since taking that position and starting to embrace that culture. But a lot of that starts in this room, right? Getting the guys developed the right way inside of what I will say is probably the best facility I've seen at the Division III level when it comes to strength and conditioning. How special is this place? How do you guys utilize it?
It starts with having great players, and they're built in here.
Yes, sir.
In our style of play, you have to be prepared to snap it over 90 times per game.
Yes.
So it really starts in here with our strength and conditioning staff. So we're really blessed to have a great staff to help us do that, and it's a 365-day program that gets us ready for those Saturdays.
30 racks in this half of the facility alone. I have to imagine that's super beneficial when you get the entire team or the entire offense in here working out at the same time.
100%. I think it's awesome. Hey, it looks great. It's brand new. It's shiny, but the functionality is what really matters. So having the ability to get our entire team in here working and grinding towards our goals, that's huge. And then it's really just built for modern strength and conditioning. So all of your platform lifts, you can do them right on the ground where you're at. It's really efficient. You'll see as we move around the space, we have all sorts of areas for circuit training, plyometrics, box jumps, throwing a med ball, you name it. We can do it right here in our space. And it's a great tool for our strength and conditioning staff. Look, another cool aspect of this too is our guys don't need much extra motivation because in this space, you can look right onto Raymer Field and see that playing surface and where all our ultimate goals are as a team.
All right, now we're heading into the football offices. I'm here with Coach Wiss, defensive coordinator here. Excited to be in here with you.
Yeah.
And before we talk anything about this defense, about these football offices, immediately when you walk in, you're greeted with the present and the past. Tell me about this.
Yeah, it's one of the things here that Coach Walker does a great job with our program. Like it's always the meaning of you are playing for something more than yourself and you're part of something bigger.
Yeah, and I talk about that coaching staff too. We'll make a trip over to the other room and talk about those different staff pictures as well. But let's go over there and talk a little bit about this defense.
Sure.
We heard about the Top Gun offense with Coach earlier on, and I want to know about this Cobra Kai defense. What separates you guys? Where does that kind of visual and that brand come from for you?
So I'm an 80s kid, and I was like, yep, Cobra Kai. It's kind of in your face, kind of have that kind of chip on the shoulder, kind of like what we want to play like. And so for us with the defense, that's kind of the brand. It's like, hey, strike first, strike hard, no mercy. Like it's what we want to be defensively. So we're like, hey, this fits, man. And now our guys run with it. We got stickers we put on helmets, and our guys get a little, get a little treat every now and then for my wife, thank God.
I like that, yep.
You know, they could make a big play on Saturday. I don't know, little sticker and a little, guys love cornbread. So my wife makes this cornbread.
That's all it takes.
The guys love cornbread.
That's great. Previous OC here, you flip over to the dark side, so to speak, a few years back. And how has that helped your perspective from a defensive scheme and standpoint?
It's been awesome. And I tell the defense guys all the time, like, I'm your spy.
Yeah.
Like, what are the offensive guys trying to do? What are they trying to get you into? So we talk about that a lot, and it's a lot more football to defensive guys. There is a little bit of like see ball, get ball.
Yes.
But at the same time, it's like, hey, how do you guys fit? On defense, always want to be the defense that I hated to go against.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so now it's kind of like one of those where it's like, okay, it's going to be hard to go against this.
History is the first thing you see when you get in. You come in, you're surrounded by it. All the previous coaching staffs, the previous teams that line the wall. It's the constant reminder, one, to be where your feet are, but also the privilege that you have to be a part of this program. And for you, be a very significant part of this program and the changing of trajectory that's happened very recently.
Yeah, everybody's got their own space. Everybody comes back to the big staff table, whether it's this side or that side. We're having all of our meals in here. We're always kind of together. I think it builds to our camaraderie as a staff. The other piece that's really important about this space is how close it is to our locker room and our guys. And so our guys come in here quite a bit. And like around this table and the other table, you're in here during the school year, there's 5, 10, 15 guys in here all day.
That's awesome.
They just come in and out, and it's like, hey, we want to see you. Like summertime's kind of the worst part for us. Is like, it's empty. Where's everybody? And so, but it's been really good, and we have a lot of life conversations at this table with our guys, and I think it helps build our culture and like our relationships with our players.
Still inside the Falcon Center this time, underappreciated room for any program. For this one, it just looks a little bit nicer. The equipment room here with Coach Crab. What's going on, man?
How's it going?
Dude, excited to have you in here. And this is one that I feel like is not usually on the list for the facility tour. Why is this an important piece of what you guys do?
I think it's so important just with how nice it is. I mean, with the roller shelves and how we're able to organize everything, you don't see it at schools of our level. This is Division I type facilities, you know, and so it allows for us to be super organized. I mean, with all of our sports, if you look at it, I mean, men's soccer all the way down to football, and now with football, you know, with us having the most amount of guys, you know, we're able to house all of our equipment, helmets, shoulder pads, jerseys, everything there, and stay super organized with everything. That's the biggest part for us right now.
And still in the Falcon Center this time, Coach Wood. Happy birthday, man. 28 today, big time.
Sir. Yes, sir, thank you.
Tell me about this space here, right across from the weight room. How do you guys utilize this spot?
Absolutely, so there's a couple purposes. Our guys will get in here to warm up for their lifts, do some of their sprint work, and they'll also get in here to cool down. So treating all phases of the lift program, they love to get in here to play some hoops too.
Okay.
There's certain times of the lift phase where you'll walk in here and you'll see 70 guys all in their gray shirt, black shorts, and can't tell them apart.
So we take a step onto here. You gotta watch your step a little bit. A lot of schools have a climbing wall, right?
Yeah.
Not everyone has this type of setup with the lights, the two sides, the rappel. There's a lot going on in this room. Tell me about it.
Yeah, so this is definitely an eye-catching space, inside and out. So it's a 30-foot climbing wall, and then we have the bouldering wall here too.
Okay.
They do a great job here changing up the routes. You have lead climbing, you have an auto belay setup as well.
Wow.
You can take a 3-credit class here to get belay certified, and it's something I really push and feel passionate on our guys to find a hobby outside of football. You know, being a college athlete really consumes a lot of your identity. And so when guys are either searching for a passion or have their own, we try to encourage it. Here, how that applies then is we have Falcon Outdoor Adventures.
Okay.
And they have rental services for all our students, really for anything you could want to get outside.
Yeah.
From fishing to hiking to snowshoeing, skiing.
That's cool.
And so it's just one of those great resources for our guys and the general student body as well.
Parker? Yeah. Let me reach all the way across the table and greet you, man, but thank you for having me in here. And I know, again, maybe not the flashiest part of today's visit, but like a super important part of what you guys do and how you're able to meet and break down film or watch different things and kind of meet as a different group. So tell me about this space, what makes it special, what are some of the fun activities you guys do in here as well?
Well, as you know, like meetings are an important part of college football. Like and it's super important to be able to be efficient with it. And so having this space down here to be able to meet with every single position group, including, the locker room and the coach's office, including those, every single position group has their own meeting room.
Yeah, we got the game film on right now, but it sounds like you guys might do a little other game film type activities in the preseason?
Yeah, preseason activities. We started our own Madden tournament going on and everything, and so it's a lot of fun. Guys take it seriously and everything, so they have fun with it.
Standing outside now, David Smith Stadium. Before we get onto Raymer Field, joined by Charlie Sowa.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you for having us here. And you're a guy who has got a lot of tradition and history with this program and really this whole athletic department, right? Having played here, having a lot of family connections now inside of the department, and someone who is a great representative of all things River Falls. I think I can proudly say after just being here for the day and being around you. But before we get inside of the stadium, onto the field, talk to me about the game day environment and atmosphere at a facility like this.
Game day is the show, and that's what everybody lives for. That's why, in football, 6 days a week, you get one chance on that 7th day to make it happen. So from a support standpoint, we try to make sure that our student athletes, for those 5-6 home games a year, whatever it is, they have the best experience they possibly can. I've been here since 2003, and the game day atmosphere, specifically around football, it's different than it's ever been. In the last 3 years, we haven't had a game where I've seen empty seats.
We get to the bread and butter, right? Out here on Raymer Field, and this is a place that, like you said, we've been inside most of the day. There's still some really impressive stuff happening outside of the Falcon Center, and that project has had some tie-in with your outdoor facilities. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, again, you said it's been a fun day in there. You can see how blessed we are with all of our training spaces and meeting spaces and locker room spaces, but it's really to support you and get you ready for out here. So this is a sacred space for us, and you said it. With the project, it was finished in 2017, included upgrades for everybody outside too. So we got the new turf, we got the new building there.
To get out here, the Falcon Walk, right? That's a big piece of the tradition at River Falls. What does that entail? How do you describe that for someone who's not familiar?
Sure, I think we have one of the most incredible game day tailgate atmospheres. Pageantry of college football, the religious fever of college football, what it's supposed to look like, feel like, be like. We have it so much here, and I was like, our guys never see it. They go the back way from the locker room to the field and back, and they never experience it. And I said, I'm changing this. I said, for 5 minutes, we're gonna walk through that tailgate, and we're gonna take in and absorb what college football is all about. So I said, go hug your mom and dad, go high five your drunk friends. I don't care, go soak in college football. At midfield, we do a meet and greet right before we go. And again, if you're on the outside looking in, it can feel cheesy and a little corny.
Yeah.
But if you're a part of it, it's like Division III football. We have no athletic scholarships. You get 355 days of sacrifice and work to get 10 opportunities to go. 6 days of practice to get 1 time a week. And it's like, these guys wake up breathing fire. So if you're out here and you're part of this, almost bring you to tears emotionally right before a game. It almost feels like an invincible feeling when you're in that group and you see the guys you love and sacrifice with every day, and you're hugging them and saying I love you one more time before you go to battle. I'm gonna do everything I can in my power to give these guys the most special day that we can. They just deserve it, as hard as they work for us.
Making the last stop up here, and this is an important one, right? The Mike Farley home coach's box. Some call it a press box, obviously a lot more than that for you guys, for a man who has been a pillar of this program, this athletic department. Tell me about, 1, his contributions, and 2, why it's important to have a place like this dedicated to him and his service.
Sure, I think every football program has that one legendary coach that's on their Mount Rushmore.
All the good ones, right?
Exactly. For us, it's undisputed. It's Mike Farley, and Coach Farley was here a long time and won a lot of championships and really put River Falls football on the map. And I was fortunate enough to get to meet Coach Farley and get to know him before he passed away. And it was such a cool thing because I heard so many stories from so many guys that played for him and knew him, and not just football, but you'd be amazed just in this community, the impact the Farley family had on this River Falls community. And we're cleaning out all these spaces and around campus where there used to be football stuff. And I'm learning the history, and I'm finding artifacts of Mike Farley's 100 win ball and the Mike Farley Coach of the Year plaque, and just all these. And I'm like, boy, we need to put all this somewhere. All those artifacts and all those special moments. I'm close with his family, and some of his sons played here, and so I talked to them a lot. They even gave me a few items to add to this collection.
Very cool.
So
yeah.
It is a very cool space. The passion he had for Falcon football just seemed unmeasurable. Yeah. And so it made me remind myself to make sure I show great passion for it, because our alums sure do, and Mike Farley's a big reason that they have a ton of passion and love for this program.
All right, Coach, we haven't been on the quote-unquote main campus a whole lot today, but there is a spot here I understand is super important to you and your guys right out here outside of North Hall. Tell me about these steps and the importance of them to your program.
So South Hall across the street, 1874 was the original college. North Hall, 1914. We have a picture of the 1915 team sitting right here.
Yeah.
All of our old school pictures. You can see from the field North Hall in the background. The field was somewhere here. There's just amazing history here. But one of the things I do, because I'm, again, I love the history so much.
Absolutely.
And I want our players to be a part of that and understand they're a part of something bigger, is we do all of our night team meetings, as you can appreciate, with college football. Your night team meetings in preseason are a sacred thing.
Absolutely.
All of our night team meetings are in here in this historic auditorium. And meeting number one, the first slide I put up in there is the picture of the 1915 team sitting on these steps that the players had just walked in.
And a great way to end our visit today. We've talked so much about blending the past with the present, appreciating the history of the program while trailblazing a new beginning, so to speak, whether that is after COVID or now moving forward into the 2020s with you at the helm of this program. I'm all in. I've got no doubt the trajectory that you guys are on is going to continue. So Coach, thank you very much again for having us out here. And if you want to learn more about the North Hall steps here and what it means to the Falcons at River Falls, stay tuned, tap into the next video to hear from Coach and one of the former players.
Oh, that's decent. Oh, that is decent. Thank you, man.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Feel like a little presidential. That's awesome.
Maybe that's the thumbnail.
Yeah.